In a quiet corner of Wales, tucked beneath the shadow of rugged hills, lies a railway just 7 miles long. But this modest little line changed railway history forever, because this is the story of the Talyllyn Railway, the world's first preserved railway and the birthplace of a global preservation movement. The year is 1865, the Industrial Revolution is in full swing, and slate is one of the Wales' most valuable exports. Deep in the hills above Talyllyn, slate is quarried at Bryn Eglwys, but it needs a way to reach the coast. Enter the Talyllyn Railway, a narrow gauge line purpose-built to carry slate to the town below. It's just over 7 miles long, running through fields, forests and steep cuttings. The railway had 2 steam engines, Talyllyn and Talyllyn. They are built to haul heavy wagons down the winding track with a gauge of just 2 foot 3 inches, officially narrow gauge. They were small but strong, perfectly suited to the task. The railway was simple and sturdy, but it wasn't for luxury or glamour, it was built to work. For decades, the Talyllyn soldiered on. It wasn't fast, it wasn't famous, but it was dependable. Yet by the 1940s, the slate industry was collapsing. Bryn Eglwys quarry closed in 1946, leaving the railway without its main purpose. So, what would it do? Traffic dwindled, the track decayed, and only one locomotive, Talyllyn, remained operational. But one man kept it alive, Sir Henry Hayden-Jones, a Welsh MP and industrialist. Out of sheer determination, he ran the railway at a loss for years. But when he died in 1950, the future of the Talyllyn Railway looked bleak. Most thought it would just quietly disappear, just another casualty of changing times. But fate had other plans, because in 1951, a group of railway enthusiasts led by author and engineer Tom Rolt stepped in with an extraordinary idea. What if they didn't just save the line, but ran it themselves? It had never been done before, but they were determined. With no formal training, limited money, and even fewer tools, volunteers began the painstaking work of rebuilding the railway back to operational order. The track was patched up, the locomotives were coaxed back into life, and a new chapter began, as the Talyllyn Railway was the first ever preserved and operated entirely by volunteers. Today, more than 70 years later, the Talyllyn Railway is thriving. The original engine still steam through valleys today, now joined by others, including Edward Thomas and Douglas, familiar to fans of a certain famous railway series. Yes, the Reverend Wilbur Awdry was a volunteer here. He even based his fictional Skarloey Railway directly on the Talyllyn. Talyllyn became Skarloey and Talyllyn became Rennius. Yes, you pronounce it like Rennius, not Rennius. This little railway inspired millions through books and television and helped the generation fall in love with steam. But the Talyllyn isn't just about trains, it's a living classroom, a community, a legacy. Volunteers of all ages come across from the country and across the world to work here. Some drive trains, others mend tracks, paint signs, or simply lend a hand. It's proof of what passion and teamwork can build. So what began as a struggling industrial line, the Talyllyn Railway showed the world that history can be preserved, not just in museums, but in motion. And even now, the sound of steam in these hills carries more than passengers. It carries the spirit of every railway ever saved. Thank you for watching, everybody. Now, because I don't want to do an outro because that's quite a formal video, I thought, let's give you some bloopers as an outro. Go on. Showed the world that history can, no, slate is quarried at, how do I pronounce that? And injustice down the wind, but this modest line, I'm sure it's more than that. Anyways, bye guys.